What does ROI stand for? Easy question. First question of the day. What does ROI stand for? Return on investment. That is correct. All right. ROI is return on investment. I always tell people to use ROI as ROI is your percent. Okay. Use that because that is an equalizer. What do I mean? You might have somebody who has invested $500. You might have somebody that invested $5,000. You might have somebody that invested $50,000. So if somebody said, oh, I made $10,000, you're like, oh my God, that's cool. But let's think about that for a second. If somebody is sitting on $50,000 and they make $10,000, right? That's 1/5, 20%. If somebody started off with $5,000 and they made, hey Michael, how you doing? Somebody started off with $5,000 and they made $10,000. That is 100% return. If somebody started with $500 and they made $10,000, that's something like 20,000% return on their money. I'm doing good. I done had me a nap and everything. So that's why it's always important to focus on what the ROI is, because it equalizes everything out. Okay, 20% on 50,000. You can make 20% on 50,000. You can make 20% on 500. You can make 20% on 5,000. It's still 20% return. It equalizes everything out. So that's why I always tell people focus on ROI, right? Because that's a more realistic thing that helps people understand. When I was first starting, and I would see people post receipts and they would be like, oh, I made, $10,000. Everybody's initial assumption is, oh my God, that's a lot of money. And it is, right? But if the person would tell you, that's why with my community, I always tell people to come up and show their receipts. That's one of the reasons why, right? Because we don't do this out here faking stuff. We don't do that. We don't know. Okay. I want people to be transparent. That's how I teach. That's how I expect my community to be, right? That's why we always do receipts, right? All right. But initially back in the day, before I really understood that concept, and I would see somebody, say I made $10,000, we're thinking, man, wow. But you need to know how much they started with. How much did they start with, right? So anyway, just wanted to teach that real quick. So ROI is return on investment. Very important piece of information to know.